Yo, what's going on, studs? It's your boy Quan, back in it with another value video. This time we're going to talk about a topic that everybody's been waiting for. What is a true alpha male? See, the moment I say the word alpha male, there's an image appear in your mind. Maybe a man who's aggressive, right? Who's jacked with big muscle. But here's the thing. Aggression could be overreacting. He just is reacting to environment. He's not grounded. He's not centered, right? He can't control his emotion. Well, you could say another image that in your mind could be a man who's very, very stoic, like doesn't show any emotion, like Rambo. You ever seen the movie Rambo, right? He's just a ruthless killer or a shooter, whatever. But then he bursts out crying at the end. So that shows that not be able to show emotion and display emotion, how you feel inside, is insecurity misguised as strength, is incongruency. So what is true alpha? Okay, it is not a label, it's not a category, it's not a personality trait. At the very, very, very core, alpha or beta, it is a state of being which determined by your brain waves. Because essentially we are all energy. Science proves that. We made of cells, and then elements make up cells, and atoms make up elements, and there's proton, neutron, electron bouncing around nucleus, and there's no space between these particles, which show that we're all energy. So there's certain waves that science will be able to measure in human brain, and these waves determine how you act, determine your being, your state of being. So let's get right into it. So we have the first state is, this is when you totally awake. Okay, it's called the beta frequency. It's going like that. It's short and it has very high intensity. Think of it when you're stressed out, when you're nervous, and also your heartbeat mimicking this wavelength too. You see what I'm saying? When you're nervous, you breathe very short and your heart beat very fast, but it's not very deep. You see what I'm saying? So next we have theta. This is the brain waves when you're in the recovery state. Think of it when you ate a really big steak and you just fall on your couch and you're about to fall asleep, but you're not asleep, you're not totally awake. You're in this kind of euphoric state. You feel relaxed and you feel really amazing. Then we have delta. Now in the state of being, you are totally deep asleep. Okay? Now we have alpha. Now this is the waves that you want to be. Now here's the beautiful thing. Alpha is right in between beta and theta. It embodies the elements of beta, the aggression of beta. But then it also embody the tenderness of theta, the euphoric, the imaginary, characteristic of theta, but also the alertness of beta. All right, isn't that beautiful? It's right in between, just like that. Okay. Elliot holds one coined this alpha frequency as tender aggression, right? You have the tenderness, but then you have the aggression. Now, by default, here's the problem. By default, we are all in low beta, which when we're awake, we're not nervous though. When you're nervous, when you fight, you're gonna be in high beta, right? But by default, you're gonna be in beta frequency, all right? And in this state, it is a survival state, because when you deep asleep, when you delta, as long as the sun hits you, your brain releases a burst of serotonin, and it's gonna wake you up. It's gonna make you scan the environment, right? Because all it want to make sure is your survival. That's all it cares. You survive for thousands of years. I mean, not you, but I'm talking about the human race, okay? Because of this beta frequency. We gotta scan for food, we gotta scan for threats, first of all, and assume the worst. It's better for us to assume that there's gonna be a tiger around the corner okay? Instead of, think positively about things. It better to be safe than sorry. That's how we survive, okay? Now, this state is very neurotic because you constantly worry. You are restless. So by default, humans are restless, right? This can go out of control. That's why 1 in 3 American will have or already have depression at some point in their life because in this beta frequency, all right? Now, your survival mechanism is basically your ego, and it comes from a place of insecure and lack. And I'll tell you why. Now, if you're not hungry, would you go out there and get food? No. You only drink water if you feel thirsty. That's for most people, right? So if you feel secure, if you feel enough, you wouldn't go out there and get more stuff to ensure your survival. So your ego trick you because ego wants you to survive. It's a survival mechanism in your brain, and it wants you to feel insecure. It wants you to feel the pain of not having enough because trick you. It doesn't matter how much you have. And this is why people are stuck in the having paradigm. This is 99% of the world population. They're stuck in the having paradigm. What is the having paradigm? Well, I will be happy once I have the car. I will be happy once I have a beautiful partner. So you essentially looking for something to complete you. You see what I'm saying? Because the ego gives out the illusion that you are not complete, you are lack, and you are insecure. All right? Now, when you're in the beta frequency, here's the thing. You communicate ineffectively. Think of the time where you're really nervous and you're trying to talk to your boss, right? You're like, you're trying to ask your boss for a raise, and you have a presentation and you have all of these, bullet points, what you're gonna say. But then you come to him, you're like, why do you want more raise? Why do you deserve more raise? You're just stuck. You couldn't spit out words. Think of it when you talk to a really, really a beautiful girl, right? And you think of what to say in your head, and when you approach her, you couldn't say a word, or you stutter. You say a couple of sentences, and your mind just go blank. Why is that? Well, here's the thing. When you're nervous, okay? So default, you're in low beta, right? When you're nervous, when you face a situation that has a little bit of stress, a little bit of tension, it kicks in a little bit higher. So now you're in high beta, or low range, mid-range beta, which is close to fight or flight, okay? When you're in this state of being, your midbrain, which is the part of your brain that controls communication, literally got shut down. Why? Well, let's say if you see a tiger or you see your enemies, you're not gonna be like, oh, come here, enemy, I love you, let me nurture you. No. It's either I'm gonna fight you or I'm gonna run away, right? So that's why when you in this beta frequency, you're not communicating effectively. That's why when you're stressed out or you're angry, you say something that you later regret. Also, when you are in the beta frequency, you are constantly seeking for approval. Think of the time when you talk to a person who has a really high status, and you leaning in, you notice that you laugh a little bit more at the jokes, even though it's not funny. And you find yourself compensating by doing stuff for them, or compliment them, flattering that person. And the reason that you are seeking for approval or validation of this person is because the ego tricked you that you not having enough. You need this person validation because to ensure your survival, you need to fit in. You see what I'm saying? That person has higher status than you. Maybe higher social status, maybe have got more money. Therefore, you need to get with them. You need to fit in so you can be a part of, you can show your survival. You want to be in the best tribe. So the biggest human fear is being isolated and not be able to fit in. That's our worst fear, okay? And it's very, very primal. It's from the ego, right? And that's why we compensate, try to have somebody approval, maybe trying to, have sex with certain people, or hang out with a certain group, associate yourself with a certain groups to validate yourself. And that is the having paradigm which is come from your ego, which is constantly being insecure. No matter how much you have. Okay, I heard the founder of Victoria's Secret jump off the Golden Gate Bridge. Why? Why would a billionaire jump off the Golden Gate Bridge? Well, because that person think that once I build a brand, once I become famous, then I'll be happy. But then once that person achieve all the things that he wants or she wants, I don't know if it's a girl or boy, that person figure out that is not feeling good either to achieve those things, because they stuck in a having paradigm. No matter what you have, if you operate from your ego, from just your survival mechanism, then you always gonna feel insecure and lack. Doesn't matter what you have, because your ego is gonna trick you to having more. So with that being said, what about the alpha frequency? You get in this brain waves when you are in the zone. Think of a sport that you love to play. Okay, maybe it's basketball, soccer, volleyball, or playing chess, or playing video game, whatever activity they get into in the zone. Think of it when you're in the zone. How does it feel like? You feel like everything is golden. Everything you touch become gold. Every movement, you become the movement. You forget everything. You forget about your personal problems. You forget about your money problems, your financial problems, your everything, right? You in that very, very moment, and you just move, you just go, right? And you feel very calm. That's when you're in the flow state, which is you're in the alpha frequency. Why you operate so effectively in the state? Well, because all parts of your brain, since you're relaxed and you're not nervous, right? All parts of your brain integrated together. In a sense, alpha is the integration of masculinity, which is beta, aggression, and theta, which is femininity. You see what I'm saying? You have that tender aggression. You are unstoppable. You are integrated. And because of this integration, you feel whole and completed. You're not seeking approval. Now, alpha frequency, people who are in these brainwaves or spend most of their time in these brainwaves are creators. That's why alpha males are creators and beta males are followers, because they're reacting. Remember that they're reacting to scanning. That's just following. Alpha males are creators. Think of this time. Okay, think of a very good example is Isaac Newton. Okay, this guy didn't invent the law of gravity when he was in the lab. Not when he was in in a meeting either. Isaac thought of the law of gravity when he was relaxed, when he was chilling under an apple tree, and then an apple dropped in his head, an idea just emerged. Steve Jobs didn't thought of creating a smartphone when he was in Apple's lab. He didn't do it when he was in executive meetings with like 10 other geniuses either. Okay, he thought of creating the smartphone when he was in the shower, when he was relaxing, his brain waves are relaxing, right? He slowed down the brain waves to alpha frequency. And that's why you start to be the creative, because all parts of your brain integrated. So this is vital. Think of, if you're in this brain waves, think of how much impact you could make. Think of when you stressed out, you can be able to feel, you can calm yourself down, be integrated, and feel whole and be completed. You don't have to keep acquiring things. And that leads to being paradigm. Instead of having things to make yourself feel good enough, you already feel good enough. You have this trust within yourself that you can carry yourself to any situation, and you trust yourself that you could solve any problems because you have the infinite intelligence within you. If you pay close attention to some of the most successful creators in the society, for example, Mark Zuckerberg, this guy wore the same t-shirt every single day, right? Steve Jobs with the turtleneck, right? With the black turtleneck every day. Jeff Bezos, when he worth $10 billion, he drove a 97 Honda Accord. Why is it? Why are these people do not care about how they look? Because they're not in the having paradigm. They're in the being paradigm. It's all about having a bigger purpose of contributing to society, creating something. They are creators, and their focus is creating. And they're creating not for the purpose of acquiring, right? Not for the purpose of acquiring materialistic things to make them feel better, to make them feel secure. Okay? Here's the crazy thing. How do you get to the alpha brainwaves? Very simple. All you have to do is slow it down, man. Because default, you're in beta, low beta, and that right in the border of high alpha. So to get yourself an alpha, all you have to do is slow down the brain waves. And how can you do it? Close your eye and meditate. That is the direct way you can do it, okay? So now, what you want to do is, because you can't meditate the entire day, right? When you close your eyes, you meditate, you start to being aware of your brain waves. And just like a thermometer, you can turn it down a notch. You can slow it down if you're aware of it. It's like a muscle, you know? And here's the crazy thing. Do you hear a voice in your head? Let's put it this way. Let's say if I'm speaking right now, that makes me a speaker and you are the listener, right? So if you hear a voice in your head, does that mean that there are two of you? Usually you have thoughts in your head, right? You have a voice, maybe a dialogue, maybe a song, but if you could hear it in your head, does that mean there's two of you? There's a guy singing. That is your ego. Whatever thoughts, whatever the voice in your head is your ego. That is your survival mechanism to tell you to scan stuff, look for problems, telling you that you're not good enough. Okay? That's why science shows that 90% of our thoughts are negative. And this comes from your ego, because it's better to be safe than sorry. Remember that. What you want to do is, when you're aware that you have an ego and it's constantly talking shit, you gotta split between your ego and what about the other thing that I'm aware of the ego? You ever thought of that too? Like, let's say you hear a voice in your head, okay, that's your ego. What about the thing that aware of your ego? That is your consciousness, okay? That's actually who you really are. You are pure consciousness. And I'm gonna make another video about this, okay? But the crazy thing is, for centuries and decades, scientists and philosophers have come together and trying to figure out what is consciousness, and they couldn't figure it out. Okay, they could take my lung, put it to your lung, and it still work. But they couldn't find out what is consciousness. So that means there's an infinite intelligence within you. Okay, and if you can tap to your consciousness by being aware of it and slow down the brain waves, think about it. Beta, your ego, right? Alpha is your consciousness. Think about it. Now, what you're gonna do is create a split between the ego and your consciousness, because you don't, whatever thought that the ego produced, you don't want to identify yourself with the thoughts because it's negative. It's constantly insecure, trying to make you acquiring things to make yourself feel good enough. Okay, so you create that split and you're aware of it, and then what you're gonna start notice, once you disidentify yourself with your ego, your brain waves slow down, okay? And therefore it's vital to meditate, because that's literally you directly working on to build the awareness muscle. Once you have the awareness muscle, you can draw your awareness within during your day-to-day activity. For example, you walk on the street, start being aware by asking yourself, how am I feeling right now? Start being aware of your thoughts. And do not identify yourself with your thought. This requires a lot of grueling practice, but once you build a very, very, very high awareness, what you want to do is challenge yourself. Okay? Challenge yourself to face really, really hard situation. Maybe asking for a job promotion. Go to your boss and ask for a job raise. Go to your boss and ask for a pay raise. Or interview for a really good job, or starting up a business or talking to really a girl that you really like. You see what I'm saying? And during this situation, your brain want to kick the better brain waves because high stakes situation. You want to slow down by being aware of it. You see what I'm saying? And what you're gonna start noticing is you solve problems in the situation really well. Like, let's for example, you go to a beautiful girl and you just know what to say right away. It's all instinct. You don't have to like, oh, what am I gonna say to gain her approval? Remember, that's beta, right? That's insecure, trying to say certain thing to gain her approval, right? You just say whatever in your mind. You're in the flow state. And that takes a lot of practice to get there. I'm gonna make another video how you can meditate. But with that being said, guys, meditate, build that awareness. My challenge for you is to meditate just 10 minutes a day, okay? And be aware of your ego, create that split, slow down the brain waves, and bring that awareness throughout your entire day. This is going to change your life because you're going to start become a creator. And you're going to start influence people. If you guys really think about it, okay? The most successful people are creators. And they influence, they move people. See, Jesus, Buddha, and Gandhi are in these brain waves. And they just move people, essentially through all energy. And energy is extremely contagious, if you guys really think about it. Energy moves from high place to lower place. Whoever has higher brain waves will influence the people who has lower brain waves. And the reason is, it's just the law of the universe, right? If you guys think about how wind is created, it goes from hot region to cold region. That's how wind is created. Or even water, how water flow. Water flow from high region, mountain to, river, and then from river to ocean, right? High to low. So you have really strong alpha waves, alpha brain waves. You are just gonna influence other people, and you can be to change the world. You can be full and completed. You feel calm. It's just amazing, guys. And it's my mission to help you get there. So with that being said, I love you. If you like this video, please comment on what you want to hear next, or like. Make sure to subscribe. I also have a private Facebook page where I share more exclusive contents and also just like discussions. So if you guys want to join a like-minded community, please click on the link and join the Facebook group. With that being said, I'll see you in the next video.